Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing? What a great day today has been. It's been like so relaxing. So let's do the little rundown of my friends and I used to do that. You know the song On the Radio by Donna Summer, that part where it like does a little piano thing? We used to go like that to that. Someone told a letter you wrote me on the radio. I used to love that song. I used to roller skate to the whole Donna Summer Bad Girls album. We would like roller skate in our driveway, and oh god, I miss that. I miss roller skating. I should go roller skating. That would be fun. I still have rollerblades in my basement. I just never use them. Anyway, that will probably be the song you hear in my main channel video tomorrow, because now I've got it stuck in my head. I got up today, and it's still been cold outside. It's been like 45, 50. It's supposed to warm up and be like 70 Thursday and Friday, and then go back to 50s and 40s again. I'm ready for just like 70-degree weather. By this point in the spring, usually in Indiana, we're having really nice weather on a regular basis. This is really bizarre. It is 35 degrees right now. I mean, this is more like February, March weather. It's really bizarre. Especially since we didn't really have that harsh of a winter. It didn't really snow too bad, you know? So I got up today and I wrote. So what I'm working on is, well, I'm kind of going back and forth between my fiction book and my book of short stories about my life. Like one day I work on one, the next day I work on the other. And so I have like been like outlining all of these stories and then putting them onto note cards and then kind of trying to put them in some kind of order for how I want to tell them. And what I have decided to do is that the first book is going to take me through like the first semester of high school. So from like birth to the first semester of high school. And then the second one that I'm going to work on after that, I mean, depending, I guess, on how well it does, but I'm kind of like, you know, past the point of really caring, like, how well something does. Like, my first book, for being published by a boutique publishing house, like, and really with very little marketing, did really well. And has gotten really good ratings, and a lot of, like, young adult authors have reached out to me and told me that they really liked it, especially as my first novel. It's, you know, is it the proudest piece of writing I've ever done? No. I have some short stories I'm very proud of, but I'm proud of it. Like, I worked my ass off, you know? Anything that you put, like, your time and energy and passion into, you know, and, like, finish, I think, no matter what it is, you know? Whether it's, you know, putting together a bake sale, or writing a book, or, you know, taking a part in community theater, or whatever, no matter how big or how small it is, you know, I think that sense of accomplishment feels good when you're done with it, you know? And it was always my pipe dream to write a book. And, so yeah, so anyway, I'm working on this one. And then the second one, I think, if I do it, will really be more about like my high school into my college years up till getting sober. I'd really like to write like 4 or 5 like of these memoir like books, and the second one would be like high school into like college and getting sober. It would like end on me getting sober, or like get the day before I got sober, and And then the third book would be about like, you know, the first 10 years of my sobriety. And then like, I would like to write a book about like just my life today, you know, things that have happened in the last 10 years since my mom's death, things like that. I'm really attracted to reading memoirs of people. And, you know, especially like David Sedaris, Augustine Burroughs, I've mentioned them on here before. Why isn't the Traveling Mercies? Why can I never, Anne Lamott? I love her books so much. They're just so beautiful, you know? And, you know, and then I watched that documentary on Netflix about Joan Didion, and like her writing is very similar to that. It was a way for her to like work through her pain. And I know this would sound strange, but in a way, like I kind of would like, if I did this from 45 to let's say 50, 55, I worked on these pieces, I would kind of like to take that time in my life to be like, I mean, let's just say I make it to then, to be, you know, introspective on the experiences of my life, to understand them more, to have a cathartic experience with reliving them, which is what this vlog is, and my Peterisms channel a lot is like reliving those cathartic experience, or reliving those memories of my life in a cathartic way. And then being able to kind of understand how I am, who I am better today. And then, like, going forward, I would love to be an essayist, you know? Like, I mean, I love writing fiction. I absolutely adore writing fiction. But as a person that blogged for a long time, I really, really enjoy... Like, it was interesting because I just recently got asked to write, like, a guest piece for, like, kind of, like, not, like... It was weird the way they approached me. They were like, you know, we know that you're really, really busy. And I think people have a mixed idea of like what a YouTuber's life is really like. They like very much like treated me with kid gloves. And they were like, we would really love if you would like write a piece about, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I would love to, you know. And just in the last week, it was interesting. I got asked by 2 different kind of organizations to do speaking pieces, to do speaking arrangements. And I was like, this is really cool. Like, these are the things that I love to do, you know? And now it's like, these opportunities are kind of like arising. Like, it's just like such an honor to even be asked, even if it doesn't happen, you know? Like, and, but as somebody that blogged for so long, I would love to be, you know, an essayist that, one of the things that I really want to do is I would like to write a book and take figures in pop culture or figures from like the last, you know, 50 years that have affected me in a pop culture level. And, you know, some of them are movie stars, some of them are musicians, some of them are serial killers, you know, like all across, you know, some of them are YouTubers, and take these people each and talk about like why they have personally like affected me on some level, you know, like as distant role models, so to speak, if that makes sense. Like that's always been like something I've been interested in doing, you know, and like, I don't know. You know, a book about all of our role models, you know, not all of ours, but like mine, you know, and I think that anybody's life experience, no matter like, you know, what they're talking about or what their life stood for, good, bad, or indifferent, I think there's so much to learn from it, you know, and I think that like, as somebody that was a counselor for so long, that like my job was to observe and evaluate, and it's kind of just ingrained in me now, you know, that's what I do. And I mean, I think if you watch like my, you know, drama videos, you notice that like it's hard for me to like watch something and not kind of like have an evaluation of like what I think's going on, you know? It's like interesting, like a lot of people like are like, do you really not like Tana Mongeau? I'm like, I have no issues with Tana Mongeau. Like I would love to meet her, you know, like I would love to meet Tana Mongeau and, you know, and be like, hey, what's going on, and really find out what she's about, and, you know, like, and really have like a sincere conversation, like one-on-one, like, okay, like girl, like break it all down, you know, quit putting on airs, let's just have a conversation, you know? You allude to things about your parents not being supportive of you when you were growing up, and blah, 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 and this is what I think based on, you know, where you're at today, it makes me sad. It's like, this validation and acceptance that you're getting is amazing. Like, it is amazing, you know? And, I'm not going to shame anybody for that, you know, like, I think it feels good for all of us to get noticed. It's like the book Wonder, you know, I think all of us deserve a standing ovation at least once in our life. But if I could give anybody some, you know, advice based on life experience, what's your long-term plan, you know? You know, like, financially and career-wise, like, when I was 24 years old, 23 years old, and I started working as a tech, you know, in a treatment facility, I had a long-term plan. Like, I knew, you know, I saw my dad going into work every day at 4 a.m. and coming home at 7 or 8, busting his ass, and I was like, that will not be me. I'm going to be fully retired, or partially, you know, oh, little bunny rabbit. I'm going to be partially retired by the time I'm 40, 45, and fully retired by the time I'm 50, 55. Like, that was my goal. And, and so I worked towards that, you know, and I think you always kind of have to have a long-term goal, a long-term plan of what you want your life to look like, and then life happens, you know what I mean? Like, so many things happen that you don't expect to happen along the way, you know what I mean? But I love those opportunities coming up, you know? I love it, I really, really do, and, Alex, like, he finds all of these positions, like, he's always, my husband is constantly applying for, like, freelance kind of stuff. I mean, and let me just tell you, so random, like, if I gave you some of the ideas of stuff that he applies for, and half of them he gets, you know, like, he's done so much freelance work within the realm of electronic dance music. Like, we've gone to, like, Miami for, you know, the Ultra Music Festival, Miami Music Week, and I remember, like, 3 or 4 years ago, we went there, and he got to, like, help out with, like, Dim Mak Records, who Steve Aoki owns, and he, like, helped put on this party at the National Hotel down there, and, it's very cool, you know, like, to see him, like, in that element, but he has no problem taking risks, doing, like, reaching out and trying to get, you know, stuff like that. So, like, he knew that it was always my dream. I had this idea for, like, a travel blog, right? That would be, like, perfect for he and I. And I'm keeping the name to myself because I may someday use it, depending on, like, I don't know, I think it's a cute idea. But anyway, so he's always, like, sending me, like, you know, little suggestions of, like, oh, you should contact this person, or you should contact this person. Well, when we were coming back from Miami, he, like, found this travel thing, and they're, like, looking for a travel writer. And he was like, you should apply for this. He was like, you'd be so good. It's freelance. It's remote. They send you to these, you know, amazing places all over the world. He's like, you could vlog it. You could put it on your Instagram. Like, he always is thinking outside the box. You know, he's so creative like that. And so I was like, okay. And I didn't really think much more about it. I, like, looked at it. And I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. And then, like, 2 days ago, he was like, did you ever look up into that job, that travel writing job? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I've got so much stuff going on or whatever. He was like, oh, okay. Like, he's never pushy with stuff like that, you know? And tonight, I was, like, laying in bed, and I was, like, looking at the website and stuff, and I was like, this really would be cool. And so I sent him an email, and I was, like, told him about myself and, you know, the ideas that I had, and we'll see. I mean, you know, maybe nothing will come from it, maybe something will come from it, but you never know till you try. you only have one life. You know, you got to try a lot of different things. And, I'm like in my head trying to decide if I want to say something or not. So I don't want to call this person out by name because I don't know how much they want me to like say their name, but okay, so right after I said I didn't know if I want to call them out by name, I call them out by name, so I had to stop that so I could edit it out. Anyway, I have received numerous emails from somebody who is just fantastic and so supportive and so nice, and she emailed me tonight, and in the email, I don't know why, it just really triggered me. And she said, you know, I've been really insecure lately because I'm having to be like in a wheelchair again, and I'm really self-conscious about that. And I wrote back and I tried to be, you know, somewhat motivational. And I put the email down and I thought, I can't even imagine, you know, like, girl, if you're watching this, you're gonna make my gratitude list tonight, honestly. Because I take for granted, you know, and I do write down on my gratitude list almost on a daily basis having good health. And, I mean, I think good health is something we take for granted a lot, you know? We only yearn to have good health when we're not in good health. But we don't acknowledge it, most of us, I think, unless we're around people that are really sick, or we are ourselves sick, and then we're like, oh God, I was so healthy, and you know. And I think like life hands you shit, you know, and you do the best that you can do with it, but don't ever feel self-conscious because you have obstacles that other people don't have. That stupid yellow light just came on. Don't ever feel bad or feel insecure because you have obstacles that other people don't have, because you're teaching somebody out there how to live a better life by showing how to get through those obstacles, and by showing somebody that, see, I can have an amazing life too. And we've been talking a lot about, like, I've been talking a lot on here recently about, you know, insecurities and things like that. But I think it's something that we all think about, don't you? I think it's something that, you know, affects all of us. And it was interesting because, okay, so today, you know, I did the videos and all that kind of stuff. And then Tanya and I went to our meeting on Tuesday night. So I've been regularly going back to my Tuesday night meeting. And we split up into little groups. Tanya and I always sit in the same group together, even though, well, tonight we had happened to count off because we were sitting in different places. Like, we sit in a big group and then you count off 1, 2, 3, 4. And we happened to, like, we were sitting across from each other, like, in this big room. And so she was a 2 and I was a 2. Now, we were both 1s and then we both went to 3. So anyway, and we went to 3s because I think because her sponsor was sitting in 3. She's like, yeah, I want to go to 3 because my sponsor's sitting there. So that's why we went there. But anyway, there's this guy that comes to the meetings, and he's got like 7 months sober. And this guy is like so cool. And what makes him so cool is that he, like, tells on himself, you know? Like, he tells his shit, he tells his truth, he just is always sharing real personal stories about what he's going through with his, you know, him and his wife and whatever, and struggling. And so he brought up the topic, and he was talking about how he's really having a hard time because he's so lonely right now, because he knows he can't hang out with his old friends because they're always like, he's like, I asked him how old he was. He said he was 41. He is like, his old friends are always going out to bars or sporting events and stuff, or, you know, just like hanging out, you know, drinking beer, and the wives are drinking wine on a Friday night, and he can't do that, you know? And so he feels so detached from them, but then, like, he's completely lonely too, right? And he's like, but, like, I've told my wife, I want you to go, I want you to have a good time. And he was like, does your husband ever, like, go out? You stay at home by yourself? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, but I'm kind of used to it now. I kind of enjoy it. And I have my friends I do things with, and then we do things together and whatever. And he's like, he goes, I just feel like a lot of times, you know, I find myself really, really lonely. And So I was like, well, give me a call. We'll go and, we'll go hang out and we'll get a bunch of people together from, meetings and we'll go to dinner and whatever. And he was like, well, that would be really cool because I'm really lonely. He's like a salesman that like, works just from his car. And so like he has like all these meetings. He's like, I don't even have anybody to talk to during the day other than my sponsor. And so anyway, I made a joke like in my share because he had said something about going to football games. And I said, now, I don't go to football games. And so then when he shared again, he said something about, and I said, it just stopped when I got to my joke. Okay, let's try this again. So anyway, he made some joke and he was like, hey, we'll go and hang out and do something and not a football game. And I go, some gay guys do like football games, just not me. I don't get football. My mom and dad so tried to teach me football and I did not understand it because both of them, my mother loved especially high school and college football. But being from Indiana, she was a diehard college basketball fan. Diehard. Now I understand basketball. I can watch basketball games. You can't be from Indiana and not watch a basketball game and have chili dinner on, on a Friday night. Yes, that's Indiana. Anyway, that's Falls in Indiana is right there for you. What was I gonna say? I'm like, is basketball in the fall? Yes. Okay, so anyway, little unknown story for you. Do you guys see the movie Hoosiers? Okay, if you've never seen the movie Hoosiers, you have to see it, because it's about, if you're from Indiana, you're called a Hoosier. That's like the nickname. And there was a movie called Hoosiers with Gene Hackman, and it's based on a true story about a basketball team from like Hickory in Indiana. And they were this small basketball team that went on to I think they won the state basketball championships. And so my mom was like, either in like 8th or 9th grade when it happened, and she went to the basketball game. Like, she went to the final basketball game at the Butler Fieldhouse, what's called the Hinkle Fieldhouse at Butler University, which is also in my book. And she went there. Well, years later when they filmed the movie, they needed extras to dress up like, back like in the 50s. And so my mom and her friend like showed up there, and by the time they got there, they had so many extras they couldn't use them. So she didn't even get to go in there. She was so excited. She loved that movie. And it's funny because like I do not love sports. Like, I'm just not a sports person. I used to watch a lot of tennis back in the day. I always watched US Open, the French Open, Wimbledon. I used to always, on Sundays, the Sunday of Wimbledon, the final Sunday, we used to always have like, berries and cream and all that stuff for breakfast. My mother would get up early, or if I was with my dad and my stepmom. My dad and stepmom for years and years and years went to Wimbledon and went to the French Open and went to the US Open. But I'm not a big sports person. I just never have been. And but I love sports movies like The Blind Side, and Rudy is one of my favorite movies. That also takes place in Indiana at Notre Dame. And Hoosiers, I love. What's the other one? There's like a bunch of them. Love and Basketball. Oh God, I love that movie. There's so many like sports movies that I really, really like. And so isn't that funny? I think it's the team aspect of it that I like, But, so anyway, it was a real good meeting tonight, and it was about, so anyway, we were going around and we were talking, and I was like, thinking about this, I was like, I had shared in there, like, when I first got sober, and it was funny because I need gas, like, I'm at like 56 miles to empty, so it's going to go off in 5 miles. But when I was in treatment, so there's a saying that says you have to change your people, places, and things. And then there's another saying that is, if you hang around a barbershop long enough, you're going to get your hair cut. Which basically means that if you continue to hang around the same people, places, and things, you're going to do the same things you did before. And I had tried it, this was my 5th treatment. I had tried it so many different times and done it my way, not what other people had suggested to me. The last time I was in treatment, my counselor said to me, she was like, you need to get rid of all your friends. She's like, all your friends you use in the same level that you do, because I had been honest with her. And she was like, some of them may be alcoholics and addicts, some of them may not be, some of them may just be abusing it during a period of time. Which is so true, because, You know, like, in retrospect, like, if I had, like, 8 good friends at that time, 3 or 4 of them are dead. 2 or 3 or 4 of them are still using. I don't even know, you know. A couple of them are dead. A couple of them are still using. I mean, in hardcore using. It's really sad. And then a couple of them got out and are real successful, you know. One of my best friends that I used to use with, we talked a couple years ago. I just talked about that on here the other day. And he's super successful, you know. Built a house and works for a great corporation and ended up, you know, getting his master's degree, I think. But we all had to get away from it on some level. And she made me call my friends in treatment and tell them that I couldn't hang out with them anymore. It was so humiliating. And so I remember, I was telling this tonight, I was like, I remember getting out of treatment and being like, just, oh, I'm going to be bombarded with people calling me wanting to hang out. And I don't know what I'm going to tell them. Nobody called. Nobody called me, you know, like, I think that people were kind of honestly like, here's the thing, you know, like, this is one of the things I struggle with, one of the truisms of recovery that I struggle with, is like, even though people say like, oh, they don't really care about you, it's just a using friend, I don't believe that. Like, my friends and I cared about each other. Was drugs and alcohol a common denominator? Absolutely. Did we care about each other? Absolutely. Did I care about all of them on the same level? No, but I think it's the same with my friendships today, even though there's not alcohol and drugs involved, you know? But my friends cared about me, I know that, and I cared about them. And so I think they didn't call partly because they knew that they would be indirectly peer pressuring me because I wouldn't want to just sit at home. And I think the other part of it is they didn't want their good time ruined, you know? Like, I think they wanted to have fun too, and they didn't want to, like, have to compromise. Oh, there's a deer right there. They didn't want to compromise having to go out, you know, at the expense of being a good friend to me. And hey, I get that. Live your life. Live your best life. You know what I mean? But, it does not matter how fast I go on this road. People behind me are always like so pissed off. They have somewhere always to go. See, passing me by. Pass me by. Pass me by, dude. You're turning your turn signal on and I'm getting ready to turn anyway, so you can just, people and their road rage, I swear. So, I was very, very lonely in early sobriety. I didn't have a lot of people to talk to, and I didn't have a lot of people to hang out with, and it was encouraged that I, you know, made friends in recovery, but being socially awkward and being shy and not having the influence of drugs or alcohol to make me feel more comfortable, I didn't really feel that comfortable, you know, going up to people and being like, hi, want to go get a cheeseburger? You know, and when there was like a group of young people, so like when I got sober, there weren't a lot of young people in 12-step programs. There just weren't. And, I mean, but there was this one meeting on Sunday nights that I used to go to. It was a speaker meeting, which means like somebody gets up and tells their story. And for some reason, there were a lot of young people at that meeting. They were like all friends. There was like 6 or 7 of them. And so when we would go out afterwards, I remember this was like right after I got out because it was in the winter. And I would like stand there like in the entrance to the meeting, smoking a cigarette to like the left, and they'd be to the right, like all talking about, oh my God, it was so much fun. We went out to dinner on Friday and blah, 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 blah. Do you guys want to go get a cheeseburger? You know, it's Steak and Shake. And they'd all be like talking and stuff. And nobody would even like say hi to me or introduce themselves to me. And this is a big reason why today, when the newcomer comes in and that you can tell that they have that, you know, deer in the headlights look on their face, I always shake their hand and, you know, introduce myself to them, introduce them to other people. You know, I try to introduce them to people that seem like like-minded people so that they don't feel so all alone, because it is really lonely sometimes in early sobriety, and you think, God, is this going to be it forever? Like, I'm never going to have anybody to talk to, I'm never going to have any friends, and on top of that, I lost my best friend, alcohol and drugs, like, seriously, you know? Because you can be completely lonely and be drunk and using and be just fine sometimes, you know? But anyway, I remember saying to my sponsor, these people don't ever invite me, you know, out for a cheeseburger. They never like, you know, and I sit there and they're just like talking about it. And he's like, well, do you ever go talk to them? And I'm like, no, but they should come up and talk to me. He's like, well, why should they talk to you any more than you should talk to them? And I was like, I don't know. I wasn't as remaining teachable back then as I am today. I mean, today I would know that and I would try to go up to them and talk to them because I would, you know, want to have people to do stuff with. But back then I wasn't open to that. And so what did I do? I just stopped going to that meeting. I went to a different meeting, you know? And I remember like a year later, this one girl that was part of that group, she was a little bit older. She came up to me and she was like at a different meeting. She's like, didn't you used to go to such and such meeting? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, we always wondered like who you were. We didn't know anything about you. And I was like, No, I was real nice to her, but I was thinking to myself, well, you never asked. You never talked to me, you know? Y'all had 2 or 3 years at the time. You guys could have come up to me and talked to me. But, you know, I'm in the solution today, not the problem. I don't want to be part of the problem. I don't want to perpetuate it and all that kind of stuff, you know? And it's like... And I'm still like that with, you know, friends today. And I don't know, maybe I have a weird definition of friends. You know, I guess there's like people I'm friendly with, and then there's people that are friends, like ride or dies, you know? And I guess I'm always wanting everybody to be a ride or die to some degree, you know? Like, I don't know that I really want you in my life if you're not a ride or die. And so it's hard because I'm real trustworthy of people. And I've been burnt time and time again. I mean, in the course of my life, I have been burnt time and time again. And yet I don't learn. I don't know what it's about, you know? Like, and Tanya's always like, you're way too trusting of people. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, I'm just telling you, you're way too trusting of people. She's like, people throw you under the bus left and right. And she's like, you know, but I will tell you this, in the last 2 years, I've really started standing up for myself. I don't take it anymore. I just don't. People of the lie, like my mother used to say. And you know, I've been real blessed because, I mean, like, I am like multi-layering the lip stuff at this point. But I love all these chopsticks so much. This Kiehl's is like one of my favorites. I think Hassie sent this to me. Who sent this to me? I can't remember, but I love this. It's like so minty. It's so minty. It feels like you're putting on toothpaste on your lips. It's fantastic. But anyway, I should start writing on the stuff that people give me. I should start writing on it, like who gave it to me. So when I pick it up, I go, oh, Judy Smith gave this to me. Because I never remember. Isn't that horrible of me? I'm like that with gifts at home, though, too. But, you know, anyway, I've been real blessed in life. You know, in life, I've always had, at least at any given time, like, except for growing up, I was lonely as shit until 9th grade. I had one good friend between 6th and 9th grade. But, like, he came from a big family. And he had 2 brothers, and his, you know, go to their house, they had 10 cats, and the kids were always running around, and each brother always had a friend over, and it was just craziness, and I was very attracted to that big kind of family, you know? And I remember my mom would say to me, you never have people over to the house, like, you never have him over to the house, and I would be like, I mean, and he would come over sometimes, but it was so just quiet at our house, you know? He and I would be, like, playing video games in the other room, and my mom would be, like, you know, drinking a martini, you know, in the bedroom watching a movie. It was just kind of depressing. And I think in retrospect, you know, it really made her sad. Like, when she got sober, she told me that. She's like, it made me really sad. You know, we had a beautiful house for you when you were growing up, and you didn't want to have people over. And I was like, no, I didn't. But, you know, I couldn't say to her at the time, because we weren't that comfortable talking about recovery. Later in life, I did. I was embarrassed of your drinking, Mom. You know what I mean? Somebody said it on my video the other day, they go, Peter, what happened to you? Where's your neck? Am I really that fat? Can I just tell you what is so interesting? I have really not changed my diet at all, but since I left for Miami, the day I left for Miami until today, and this is including coming back, because I lost weight when I was in Miami, and Alex is like, well, we were walking every day, but since I've been back, right? I've lost 8.7 pounds. I don't know how, but Oh my God, there was a huge deer over there. I do believe that deer are my spirit animals. That's why I see them everywhere. But, you know, I've been very blessed in life. And then he ended up moving to Arizona, and I used to go visit them in Arizona and stuff like that. And he's very successful today. God, he's very, very successful. So anyway, and just really worked his ass off all of his life. And, but then, you know, like even starting YouTube, I've made some pretty good friends on YouTube. Now, I wouldn't say I have 10 good friends on YouTube. And I'd say that, you know, probably my definition of what a friend is to other people. But I have at least, I feel like I have at least 1 or 2 good friends on YouTube, you know? And other people that I'm friendly with. It's nice, though. It's nice being able to have somebody that you can talk to about, like, I mean, it's one thing to watch the videos, it's another thing to, like, make them and, like, come up with ideas and, you know, wanting to run them by somebody and, you know, all the other stuff. And it's kind of fun to have somebody to talk about that. You know, whatever you're passionate about in life, whether it's basketball or reading, is why I love doing BookTube. You know, I have so many people I can talk to about, oh my God, can we just talk about for a second that I finished that book last night, which is called The Dangerous Art of Blending In, I think, well, I know the guy's name because I looked him up on Twitter and I followed him, Angelos Milas. Okay, that book, can we just pause for a moment on that book? I finished that book last night, or I finished that book today. I had 40 minutes left of it, and I saved and savored that last 40 minutes. Oh my God, what a beautiful book. Oh my God, I gave it 5 stars. Okay, I have not read a book in so long that was so good. It was so good. And it ended just a little bit tragic, but a little bit happy, and it was just perfect. So anyway, and he responded to me on Twitter too. I love that when authors respond to me. It makes me so happy. Writers are rock stars. But anyway, now I'm reading Behind Her Eyes because so many people recommended this book to me. It's supposedly like the new mystery of the year. And I already had it downloaded on Audible, so that's what I'm reading now. Tomorrow, I'm not excited about the next 2 days, okay? Let's just have an honesty moment here. There's my gaslight. I have writing. I'm sticking to a writing schedule, first of all. So I'm going into my office and I'm going to write tomorrow. And then I'm going to come home after I run my errands. I'm going to come home about 4 o'clock, make the videos, get the videos up. I got some ideas for what I want to do my videos about tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. And then I might take a little short nap. And then I might do a live stream kind of early. So if you're watching this, there might be a live stream early tonight. And then I have to sit down and do my taxes. I'm so not excited about it. Alex got all his taxes done tonight. So I have to take all of our tax stuff into the accountant on Thursday. Alex did it last year. God love him. So this is my year, I guess. It's gonna be pure hell. I just know it is. Whatever, you have to do it, right? Do you guys love taxes or hate taxes? Who loves taxes? Well, a lot of you out there probably love getting your tax return, but see, I haven't gotten a tax return in so long that every year I'm just like, God, can we please keep it down on, you know, like when you owe, it just is, it's just hell. And this year we had meant to go to quarterly taxes and we didn't. Oh well. It'll be fine. I used to stress out so much about it. I just don't stress out about stuff like that anymore. I'm just like, there's not anything you can do about it anyway. You have to do it. I mean, you have to. You know, what are you going to do? I guess not file your taxes and get in trouble, you know? Dream. Are you guys watching this show, The Crossing? I am so addicted to it. You guys, it is so fantastic. It is really, really that good. Like, people are like, is it that good? I'm like, yes, it is really that good. It is so good. I love it so much. It is so good. And it's about these people that come from like 150 years in the future because there's a war. And this, like, these Apex people are like taking over the world, and so they've escaped through a time travel machine. It sounds totally corny, you guys. Like, if somebody tried to spell that idea to me, I'd be like, yeah, no thanks. But like, it is really, really good. I'm so into it. I need to get gas. So that's tomorrow. And then Thursday morning, I have to meet with the accountant. I don't know how long that'll go. I will tell you one thing that you guys are probably going to be excited about. I have decided... It cut off. Anyway, one thing that you guys probably will be excited about, like I was saying, is that I have decided that I'm going to get another camera for vlogging. I'm going to upgrade my vlog camera because I want to do, like, I want to start doing more like outside vlogging and stuff like that. And I just want the quality to be a little bit better. And I'm going to use this camera for at home, so I can just keep it at home. And then the other one I'm going to like bring with me. Now, I don't know when, okay, but one of the things I will be asking is, I want that internal temperature thing. I can't be dealing with all that anymore. We ain't going to have all that. So I don't know when that will be. I'm going to start looking at cameras soon. I've got some other purchases I have to make first. But sometime before the summer, I'm hoping to do that. And then the reason why I said you might be excited about that is, my plan is to carry it around with me all day long. So it won't just be me driving around at night. It'll be me driving around and getting coffee, and me driving around and doing errands. No, it won't just be driving. I'm going to carry the camera with me everywhere, you know? Like walking into my office, and if Tanya and I are together, and, you know, getting ready. And I want my vlog to be more like a representation of my whole day. I think that would be fun. I'm not going to shorten them. The people that watch the vlog regularly seem to like the length of the vlog, so I'm not going to make them any shorter. There's no reason to, you know? I like making them. I like making them longer. It doesn't even seem that long to me. You know, people are like, you vlog for an hour every night, 40 minutes to an hour. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but I love it. Like, I love every minute of it, you know? I mean, I've been driving around now for like an hour, and it doesn't, I mean, this isn't an hour total for the vlog because I've had to like turn it off and stuff like that, but I guess it's been more like 50 minutes. But it doesn't like seem like it's been an hour. Not at all. Oh my god, gas is like 20 cents cheaper here. Awesome. So that's my plan. But I will of course keep up with the people. You guys seem to like the nighttime driving around vlogs. Alex is totally comfortable being in the vlogs now, so he said he'd be in more of them. And all right, I'm gonna get some gas and I will be right back. Okay, can I just tell you one of my biggest pet peeves about the gas places is when you ask for a receipt and then it says, please take your receipt, and no receipt comes out. What is that? What is that? I'm like, well, I would take my receipt, but there's no receipt. Look how bad my hair looks right now. So then, because I'm so anal about my receipts, I have to go in here and write down how much I spent. Okay. Anyway. What else was I talking about? I don't know. Oh my god, I was so excited. You know what? My book, My Sweet Audrina, came today in the mail. Yes, ma'am. So I am all ready for the book club. Peter's book club starts April 15th. Some people are messaging me and being like, oh my god, I'm already halfway through. I'm like, what do you mean you're already halfway through? That is not how this is supposed to work. You're not supposed to read it yet. That's cheating. Oh well, have fun with it. I think I'm addicted to chapstick. At least I have smooth lips. I've used chapstick for so many years. I've like always, like ever since I was like in elementary school. I used to get really, really bad lips, and I would have to carry a little jar. I've shared this on here before, with a Vaseline with me, my backpack. My dad would give it to me, those little jars, and then I would put it on all around, and because my lips would get so red, like all around here, and kids would make fun of me. They would horribly make fun of me. It looks like you have lipstick on. Do you wear lipstick? They'd always say to me. Can you imagine if you had never been made fun of? Ever in your life been made fun of? You know, my dad is like really a funny guy and he's very sarcastic, but like it's always at somebody's expense. And like growing up, it was like my stepmom and I. So like if he was like in a family gathering or, you know, had a party or something, he would tell these stories, but they would always be like, oh, little raccoon. But they would always be about something stupid that my stepmom and I had done. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, yeah, well, it's not that funny when it's your life, you know, and somebody's laughing at you. And, but you almost kind of become immune to it over time, or I did at least. But do you ever wonder if people that are like truly confident, if it's like organic? Like, I've had to really work towards my confidence. It was funny in my counseling session today, we were talking about this, and he goes, Peter, you're somebody that like truly, really doesn't care. And I go, no, I don't know that that's true. And he goes, no, I really believe that. He was like, you care about being a good person. You care about the people around you. He was like, you don't like intentionally want to hurt somebody's feelings. He was like, I don't think you really, at the end of the day, give a shit what somebody thinks about you. He was like, I don't really, you know, he goes, you've been through too much in your life that at this point, like, it is what it is. And I go, well, that's true. And he was like, but see, that is confidence. He goes, because it allows you to be who you want to be. And we were talking about, like, confidence and, you know, insecurities and things like that. And I was like, well, I guess so. You know, and he was like, well, what things are you insecure about today? He like brought up like my weight. He was like, you used to mention that, but you don't mention it anymore. I go, I'm not really insecure about my weight. I'm not, you know? Like, and this year and last year, I remember last year going to Miami, and so many of you out there in the vlog were like, just go and enjoy your time, and who cares what you look like in a bathing suit? And I didn't, but it was a struggle. And this year I went, and I really didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, I really didn't give a shit. And I had a blast, and I was in the water, and oh my God, okay. Alex's friend, the girl that we had dinner with the last night, she posted this video on Instagram today. I'm gonna have to pull over and show you guys here at some point. She posted this video on Instagram, and she was laying out on the beach where we laid out the last 3 days, and she had walked out in the water with her phone 10 feet from shore, okay, in South Beach. There was about a 10-foot shark. 10 foot, I'm not lying to you guys, okay? I'm not exaggerating. It was like a 10-foot shark. Tanya, I showed Tanya, because Alex thought it was real funny, so he tagged me in it, you know? And called me, and he's like, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch this. I showed Tanya, she goes, what would you do? I go, I don't know, I would have been terrified. She goes, I am so glad you were not there. She goes, you would never have gone in the water again. I said, oh no, I would never have gone back in the water. I would have been terrified. There's no way. I am so scared to death of sharks. And somebody the other day, Jennifer, you know you are, she tagged me and Richard from Richard's Media Geek, on Twitter, because we both read the book Meg and loved it, which is about this megalodon shark. It's like the oldest shark. It's fictional, but they're making it into a movie they made it into a movie with Jason Statham, and it's coming out this summer. And oh my God, you guys, go look up the trailer for Meg, okay? The music for the trailer is horrible, but it looks terrifying, absolutely terrifying. I probably pronounced megalodon wrong, I don't know. I'm gonna pull in here in a second and see if the video's still up. He tagged me today. Was it today? It was earlier today. I was on my way to the meeting. He called me. So it should still be up. You guys are gonna die. If I show this to you, if it's still up, you guys are gonna die. I mean, it is legit, okay? The exact same spot on the beach that we were at. Like within the same 100 feet across. Why is this car following me so closely? Oh, because it's a police officer. Okay, let me see if I can find this really quick. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'd have been terrified. Ugh. Did you guys see that? That was a big shark. All right, you guys, listen. I'm gonna get off here and listen to my audiobook for a couple minutes, and then go home and get some sleep before my long day tomorrow. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Don't let the sharks get you. If you're on spring break, don't let the jaws get you. Nah. Anyway, I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.